A new era in space is unfolding, one defined by rapid innovation, fierce competition, and the promise of discoveries that could reshape our world. The United States is determined to lead this charge, setting its sights on the stars with renewed ambition and a bold vision for the future. But the old Apollo model, where government alone carried the torch, is history, a relic of a different era. Today, America faces new rivals like China and Russia, and must operate under tighter budgets, making the quest for space leadership more complex and challenging than ever before. The mission isn't just about planting flags or making headlines, it's about building a sustainable, economically vibrant presence in orbit and beyond, one that can endure for generations. Achieving this vision demands a fundamental shift, moving from government-led programs to dynamic partnerships with private industry, where innovation thrives and risks are shared. Space is now critical for national security, economic prosperity, and scientific discovery, touching nearly every aspect of modern life. The U.S. Space Force's mission is clear: achieve and maintain space superiority, protecting American interests in an increasingly contested and unpredictable environment. Our daily lives, from GPS navigation to global communications, weather forecasting, and even financial transactions, depend on assets in orbit, making space infrastructure indispensable. The challenge is clear: secure this strategic high ground and expand our reach, all without breaking the bank or overextending national resources. The solution: harnessing the power of free market capitalism, unleashing the creativity and efficiency of the private sector. The government is transforming its role, becoming a customer that buys services and hardware from innovative companies, rather than building everything itself. This approach drives down costs, accelerates progress, and sparks creativity, allowing new ideas to flourish and new players to enter the field. The Ensuring American Space Superiority Executive Order, signed in December 2025, cements commercialization as the primary tool for U.S. expansion into space, setting a new course for the nation's ambitions. The goal is clear: return astronauts to the moon by 2028, establishing a permanent foothold and paving the way for future exploration. Attract billions in private investment, fueling a new era of growth and opportunity for American companies and workers, and win the new space race by out-innovating, not outspending, rivals, ensuring America's leadership is built on ingenuity and resilience. America's strategy is to build a competitive, public-private partnership that secures leadership in the cosmos, ensuring the nation's place at the forefront of humanity's greatest adventure. For decades, NASA ran the show, designing rockets, training astronauts, and managing every mission detail. The agency was the heart and soul of American spaceflight, orchestrating every launch and every landing, with a singular vision and unmatched expertise. From the Mercury and Apollo eras to the Space Shuttle program, NASA's hands-on approach defined the golden age of space exploration. Now NASA is stepping back, becoming a smart customer instead of the sole operator, especially in low Earth orbit. This marks a fundamental shift in how space missions are planned and executed, opening the door for private innovation and competition. This lets NASA focus on deep space exploration, while private companies handle routine orbital business. By delegating the day-to-day operations in Earth's orbit, NASA can channel its resources and talent toward ambitious goals like returning to the moon and reaching Mars. The shift began with commercial crew and cargo programs, where companies like SpaceX and Boeing proved they could deliver safely and efficiently. These partnerships have transformed the way astronauts and supplies reach the International Space Station, making space more accessible than ever before. NASA sets the vision, private industry delivers the how. This collaboration brings together government oversight and private sector agility, accelerating progress and fostering new ideas. This division saves billions, freeing up resources for Artemis and Moon missions. With more funding available, NASA can invest in cutting-edge technology and bold exploration projects that push the boundaries of what's possible. NASA is outsourcing the orbital commute to focus on new worlds. The agency's sights are set on distant horizons, while trusted partners keep the space station supplied and operational. Old cost-plus contracts are out. Fixed-price, milestone-based deals are in, saving money and speeding up progress. This new approach rewards results, encourages efficiency, and keeps projects on schedule. The December 2025 executive order cements this approach, making NASA the anchor tenant and chief catalyst for a new space economy. This policy ensures NASA's leadership while empowering private companies to innovate and grow. NASA is no longer just a space agency, it's the engine of a bustling orbital marketplace, driving collaboration, competition, and the next era of human achievement in space. The International Space Station, a symbol of global cooperation and scientific achievement, is nearing retirement after more than 2 decades of continuous human presence in orbit. Maintaining the ISS costs billions annually. It's set to deorbit around 2030, marking the end of an era in space exploration and international partnership. But this ending sparks a new beginning, a competitive market for commercial space stations, where innovation and private investment will shape the future of low Earth orbit. NASA is funding private companies to build diverse orbital platforms. Think business parks in space, not just one successor, but a whole ecosystem of stations serving different needs. NASA will be one of many tenants, alongside foreign agencies, private firms, tourists, and even film studios, opening up space to a wider range of people and industries than ever before. Competition means better prices, advanced facilities, and more innovation. New technologies and business models will emerge, making space more accessible and productive. The result, a more robust, resilient American presence in orbit, with the United States leading a new era of commercial and scientific activity above Earth. NASA's Commercial LEO Destinations program is driving this change, funding early-stage designs and hardware, and encouraging private sector creativity and investment. The goal: have at least one commercial station ready before the ISS retires, ensuring no gap in U.S. human spaceflight and keeping America at the forefront of orbital operations. This seamless transition is vital for leadership, ongoing microgravity research, and the continued development of new medicines, materials, and technologies in space. The ISS's retirement marks the dawn of a commercially driven era in space, where the possibilities for discovery, collaboration, and economic growth are truly limitless. The race to replace the ISS is led by ambitious commercial ventures. Axiom Space is attaching modules to the ISS, planning to form its own station when the ISS retires. Orbital Reef from Blue Origin and Sierra Space envisions a modular business park in orbit with flexible expansion and diverse customers. Starlab, a Voyager Space and Airbus venture, features a large inflatable habitat and global reach, focusing on science and research. SpaceX's Starship, though not building a station yet, could revolutionize the field with its massive payloads and reusability. One Starship launch could place a habitat larger than the ISS in orbit, reshaping the market. These players are redefining what's possible in low Earth orbit. The U.S. government's shift to buying from private companies is strategic. When the government builds, it shoulders all the risk, delays, overruns, and design flaws. The old cost-plus model insulated contractors from risk, stifling innovation. Now companies invest their own capital and are paid for results, not just effort. This creates fierce competition, driving efficiency and rapid progress. If a company fails, it's a corporate loss, not a taxpayer disaster. The commercial sector's push for reusability, led by SpaceX, has already slashed launch costs. As U.S. companies set global standards, America shapes the rules of the space economy. This network effect strengthens U.S. leadership and makes it hard for rivals to catch up. The commercial-led space strategy is bold, but risky. Its success depends on a real market for low Earth orbit. NASA can't be the only customer. If demand for research, manufacturing, or tourism lags, business models could collapse. Company failures or launch disasters could leave the U.S. without access to space. NASA funds multiple competitors to avoid single points of failure, but vulnerabilities remain. Delays could create a gap after the ISS retires, hurting U.S. prestige and research. Market forces may prioritize profit over science or national interest. The future of space access could be shaped more by who can pay than by strategic or scientific needs. The US and China are racing for space dominance with opposing strategies. America bets on commercial innovation and competition, with government as catalyst and customer. China's state-run program is centralized, well-funded, and tightly integrated with its military ambitions. The stakes: leadership means setting standards, controlling key locations, and attracting global partners. If America's commercial model succeeds, it could outpace China and draw talent and allies worldwide. But if the market falters, the U.S. risks losing its orbital presence while China's Tiangong station grows. China could become the go-to partner for space access, gaining diplomatic leverage. The outcome of this contest, open and commercial versus closed and state-controlled, will shape the future written in the stars.